Finally, 5 months of in the body shop is back home. I think they did a really good job. There was about 2 weeks ago I said, looks good to me, paint it. But there's a perfectionist worked on it for another week. And I guess it's worth it. After you spend all that time, what's another week going to be if they want to make things even better? So the wheels look ridiculous, right? The Porsche Boxster wheels, look at the offset way in there. Well, that just goes to show you how much wider this car is than the Porsche Boxster S. So got to figure out the offset, back spacing, all that good stuff. Probably do it up on the lift to make it a little bit easier with some jack stands and that. The interior didn't need a lot of work, obviously, but that's easy work and not too bad. Just got to run all the wires for the power locks, door poppers, all that stuff, and then carpet work, some sound deadening on all the car everywhere, even though even the Boxster never had that before, but I like it for heat, and then also makes the car sound more solid. This can be kind of interesting here because I have to put the layered glass, they're roughly like pieces of triangle glass, like steps kind of on here. And you can see that beam, whatever body part of the chassis going across is pretty close up there. So what I might do is just flatten this, bend this down all the way across, flatten it out so it's not sticking up like that, like an inch or so, what it is now. Just to flatten it out a little bit. And then the window will be tinted, other pieces of glass, so it's, I always forget if it's 2 or 3 pieces of glass. But here's what I'm talking about. It's like it's 2 pieces of glass. So it's kind of stepped, and it's a weird shape. So I'll make a template and then take it to a local kitchen and bath place that does shower enclosures. They can make any kind of glass. I'll probably make a tempered glass, maybe. We'll see. There's no curve or nothing to it. And then I'll figure out how to mount it underneath. But I need 4 pieces. Other thing is that back window, right? I need to find in the junkyard. I'll go to the junkyard, take the measurement, and find a piece of glass like that. Or I have that same place. Maybe that same place would be easier. They just make me a rectangle piece of glass. But I'll still have to go to the junkyard and get a window regulator and then fab that up. Hopefully, I'm not looking forward to doing any welding on the car anymore with sparks flying. So we'll see if I bolt the brackets and that for that regulator. But I really want that to go up and down. It just can't interfere too much because I still need to get this off, and then I still need to get the engine cover off. This is tight quarters on the Boxster as people work on this car. So I can work on fine there, but I don't know, maybe there might be more room to work on the car here because on the Boxster, you know, it has the whole convertible top in the way. This thing will open up out of the way. I noticed over one of the struts on this back hatch is wearing out. I don't know if it's a dust, but I mean, it was a year in the garage and me working on all the things in it were fine, but it seems like when you take them to the body shop, the struts for the doors and trunk lid and all that, they get dust in them and then they seem like they leak that seal or something. I don't know, but I had to buy 2 new ones, one for each driver's door and the passenger door, and those are not cheap. They were $40-some a piece because they're really long. And then, yeah, like I said, one of these are going bad, or they're both going bad because this won't stay up. They holds it a little bit, but I don't mind. These ones are short and probably $10-15, nothing. This all black here. Gotta put the headlights in there. That should be tricky. Gotta be careful cutting that. The hood's not closed all the way. Oh yeah, so this emblem that goes in there, as you can see, it's it's way bigger than the Diablo. And I've seen online, they're like $100 and some. I'm assuming they're real. I don't think I'm going to spend that kind of money for a little metal emblem. I'm going to make one. I have one already that's plastic, the size. But I'm thinking, I bought this stuff that you can coat it. It's like a plastic coating and make the thing thicker and then glue it in there. And I think it's going to look exactly like the real one. Because the real one looks like it's a piece of metal with a bunch of coating over it. I bought it at Tap Plastics, this coating stuff. It's like kind of like a gel, I guess. So we'll see how that turns out. The other thing is, so the grills, I need 2 grills, right? One on each side. And one I did on eBay, bottom. You know, it's not exactly like the Aventador is. You can see this. This is kind of easier to see. The Aventador is a really unique pattern. You can't get it anywhere. So that's the next best thing, and I'll just have to do with that. So I got 2 sheets of it. It looks like it's not focused for some reason. Anyway, so what I'll do is I'll cut the template and get the rough idea of how big that has to be there. How big it has to be there. And then I'll have to heat it up with a heat gun and form it, because you can see that's not straight across. It's kind of a little bit angled when I put the back side of that grill in there. And then you can see the radiator fans there. It has these big boot things. I don't know what you call it, a big boot. You know, the wind deflector into the air into the radiators, one for each side. So they're not good. They look awfully big to be fitting in there now. So I might have to modify them a little bit, but I think they're really good to have, obviously, to keep the car cool. And then this center one, it's only on the Boxster S. So the little problem with that is there's supposed to be like a spoiler there in the front of it. So I'm looking at pictures. It looks like it's got to go below it. So that's going to need to be painted, probably gloss black. Or maybe flat black, I'll decide, I don't know yet. You can see how low the car is. This ramp here to get up on this lift. But yeah, I'm going to make that, fab that whole piece up. It's hard to say what, where this is supposed to look. Here it is. So that's the spoiler right there, if you can see that. It looks like it's 2 or 3 fins kind of thing. But that's what I'll be working on. That looks like that'll be a fun little project to make that. And then figure out how to attach it. Out of fiberglass, I'll make it. What else? Then this should make the front look all complete. It's kind of weird now. Got all the lenses, they all fit in there good. I gotta see the Porsche Boxster turn signals, you know, light sockets. They're totally different size, obviously. The ones I got are for a Camaro, the late model Camaro. So I've seen the whole lens and the socket come together online for like $17 a piece. But I don't need the lens. I already got the lens. If I'd have knew this at the beginning, I wasn't thinking when I ordered it, probably should have just ordered the whole thing, because now I'm having a hard time trying to find just the sockets that go in those lights. Talking here like in riddles. Well, here's the rear tail light. One of them. So here's the lights I'm talking about, these side marker lights. This is the rear one. And what I need is the plug. It's a special plug that goes in there, obviously. And no way the Porsche one's going to work on there. But this is from a Camaro, but it's exact pattern when I look at it. I mean, look, you can see the front one. It's almost just like it with the way the angles are. Just got to cut this tab off because the way this slant is right there, the tab is in the wheel well side. So I just got to file that off, no big deal. And then figure out how to attach it. This is going to be kind of strange here. You can see the windshield covers all this. That filter over there is right. It's supposed to be technically outside, it's taking fresh air from outside, but now it's going to be inside. So what I'll put is a big piece of cover here, like a piece of dashboard I'll make and cover it with leather to match the original Porsche leather. I'm going to keep that. But the other trick is the horns in there. So I'm probably going to relocate the horn. And to be honest, I don't know if that's the same horn for the alarm as it is for the steering wheel horn. But it doesn't matter, it's going to be moved, right? I'm going to move that down. The battery also used to be right here. You see that square panel. That's a cover I made. It's below that is like the solenoid for the fuel tank. So I put the battery down in here. The only problem with the way I did this, kind of afterthought now, is this is kind of hard to do with one hand. Is I can't put the roofs in there now because the battery takes up the space. So here's the battery. It's the original battery. It's huge. I'm not sure if the roofs will fit in there, but you know in the real car they fit in there. It's kind of cool. And there's the spare little donut. But this is going to be painted a little bit better. That was just a rough paint I threw on there when I made those pieces. And that's another thing. Look, this is where this is the box too, right? So, look how much wider it sticks out. We sprayed a bed liner on here. You know, I didn't care. I just wanted something on there to clean it up looking. And the thing about the bed liner, it's kind of hard to tell. It's kind of like a smooth feeling. Or no, it's not smooth, but it's like almost like a wet feel to it. So it looks better than something just flat painted on there. And just to clean it up, make it look decent. It's not a show car I want to take to Monterey or something like that. Yeah, so like I was saying earlier, it's kind of strange, all this. So this filter, there's no way I'm going to be able to move this down or outside the car. I don't know how important that is to have this outside, but it's probably not going to get moved. I'll put a new filter in there. I don't know, we'll see. It's probably really good to take in fresh air from outside though, so I have to give that another thought. I could make some ductwork and run something through there, I guess. I don't know. I don't really want to be cutting no more holes in firewalls. You can see the battery cables were extended. That steel plate also, that wasn't there. I had to make that just to cover that up. And then there's water lines that run into the for the heater core. Oh, the other thing is to charge the air conditioning, right? This is going to be all covered up and you'll never be able to get to none of this stuff. I mean, even if I made this piece here removable, you still got the windshield is going to be here. So what I'm going to do is this is the low pressure side and the high pressure one's down there. Always remember so this is the port I'm going to charge it here. If I have that right. I have to look at the manual again. I'll memorize all this stuff. But so what I'm going to do, I'm thinking about if I can get this fitting off, I'm going to screw this off and put a hose on it and then run that hose right through that firewall and just put the connector in, mount it inside under the hood here, right? So when I get my AC recharged, just do it from in here. Make some brackets and you probably never know the difference. A hose and then a connector. So it's the new connectors, obviously, because it's 2001. And then I probably should extend the other line too, the high pressure one, because you just never know. You're supposed to technically hook up the high and low side and check pressure and all that while you're recharging it. I don't know if I'm going to do it myself. I mean, you can rent all that stuff for free. Rent, I don't know why they call it rent. Loan it. I loan it from the local auto parts store. They just initially charge you the cost for the items, and then when you return, you get all the money back to your credit card. So I did that many times. In my old Porsche, I had another 928. I had to recharge the AC. But we'll see. This broke. The guy was working on the car and he put his hand on top of it. It looks like it's only this, so I bought a new one of those on eBay. Ridiculous what these things prices cost for stuff just because it's Porsche. And that one over there, it looks like it might be cracked. No, maybe not, just dirty. But I have to clean all this up and cap this off and stuff like that, and all that's going to be covered up, so you're going to see it. Got a lot of fabrication for the windows and all that here. The side one is going to be interesting to get that to. It's not. It kind of looks flat, but I don't think it is. I think it has a slight curve to the top, so no heat gun's going to heat up and be able to bend a whole piece of plexiglass. I don't think. If I could maybe get an oven, put it in an oven. I think that's what a lot of people do when they form that. But these roofs, they turned out really good. When I took it there, it did not. Oh, it's hard to tell. It has a point here, and on the other side, it didn't have that before. And to be honest, I don't know if I put too much Bondo on her and I, flattened it out, if it had them originally, but when I gave them pictures, they figured out that it's supposed to be in there. So, they did a really good job. Unbelievable. Well, the exhaust is going to be, surprisingly, it sounds really good. It surely don't sound like no Boxer no more. But it doesn't have headers yet. I'm thinking about headers, but the other thing is back here it's supposed to have 4 tips, right? So I need to put one more on each side. And the other thing is the tip shape, this circle, that's not right either. They're supposed to be like a square shape for them. It kind of looks good, and then you have a big housing, a piece of sheet metal housing all the way around it. And then this is going to be mesh grill here, but this is going to be steel because it's going to get hot. I can't use that other plastic ABS grill. So that's going to be some work. But that'll be not too bad once I put the car up in the air on the lift. And I'm going to also put some heat, one of those heat pads you put there that sticks with heat reflector, because I don't know how that diffuser is only fiberglass. I don't know how much heat that thing could take. But it's like what is this stuff? Heat barrier. So this is the heat barrier I'm talking about. I bought this. It's sticky. You can peel the backing off and stick it in there. So I'll put it in there, and then just so the muffler don't heat up there. But you can see this is like a disaster. So this is all the parts left over from the Boxster, and I kept a lot of them, obviously. It's a good idea. But all this weather stripping, 90% of it probably ain't going to work. The one piece that's going to work is the piece all the way around this trunk. That was never modified, that little piece there, that seam there. So that'll go back on there. And then this AC line here, this goes in the front, right across the front underneath that bottom radiator. But the angle now, I might have to extend it because it's not going to fit on there right now. I found a local shop today that can cut this line, this AC line in half and extend it with some rubber hose. You really have to be careful because it's really high pressure. So have some professional do it, extend it. What else? So a washer fluid reservoir, panels for inside the car, seat belts. The good thing about the seat belt, or the thing I left is a roll bar, because the seat belts attached. I don't know if you can see a little nub, stub, whatever you call it, sticking out of there. That's where one of the seat belts goes. And to be honest, I forget where the other one. It's like 3 attachment places. So I might have to go online and look at a box there, because I forget. It's 2 years ago I tore all this apart. What else? So there's the center console. Luckily that's all in one piece. The leather's still good. This is the cowl for the, below the windshield. Now that's going to be some ingenuity there. You really don't see a lot of it. Once this is closed, this gap right here is going to close up a lot. The thing is, though, I got to put something in there because water's going to go in there. I'm not going to drive it in the rain, but I can't have it go all over. That's the amp for the stereo. So I might have to build something out of fiberglass, a little like a gutter kind of thing, and have it catch the water. And then the windshield would be all the way down to here. So I'm not going to do the windshield either. I'm going to have professionals do it. I keep saying the professionals, not some rookie. Here's the windshield. Haven't took that off of there, but they used that to body shop many times to get it to fit in there. I hope it ain't cracked, but I already broke 2, so maybe 3rd time's the charm. We'll see. But that's one of the least expensive things, that windshield. The windshields are just regular, safety glass. The side windows are tempered glass. And when I was doing the window track, I had the door up like this, and the window just rested in there. It wasn't totally secured yet. And I went outside to do something, was grinding some bracket, and the thing fell out of there all on the ground. Did not even break, didn't chip, nothing. I guess usually side glass won't chip. It'll just shatter in 1,000 pieces. Didn't even break. So I have the 2 used ones that I got with the regulators, and then I got 2 brand new ones because they're so cheap for a Honda Accord, right? Or sorry, those, yeah. And then here's the 2 side glass. What else? Bought a bunch of wire connectors online the other day. And so when you hook up door poppers, all this stuff, none of these connectors are going to match with the Porsche. So I'm going to have to figure out how to terminate all these wires together. There's a wire harness for each door. And then this, there's the button for the front hood button, rear hood popper. What's amazing is I never noticed this before. It has manual and then the gears, selectors there. Why would you want that down by your left thigh? That's bizarre. I didn't drive this car, but when I bought it, I drove it home from the dealership, and that was it. It was a used car. I bought it, of course, but I never drove it again, so I never played with all the controls and all that. But there's all the rest of the seat belts. One of the window locks. And then here goes this for the power windows, 2 switches. And these are just panels. I'll leave it like that. Here's the 3rd brake light for the spoiler. So I gotta be very careful. That was made. The guy in Poland made that from scratch. Unbelievable workmanship. Make something like this. It's all LED. There's the connector, and the spoiler is on this, wrapped up in paper. I just got home with the car, so I didn't unpack everything yet. So that's the spoiler. Trust me. And underneath is the extra glass. Yep, that's about it for now. I think I just gotta figure out where all the pieces go. But I think the motivation with it getting painted helps now, because it's depressing, man, when you're looking at a car for 2 years and the primer and the bodywork looks so bad. Also got the door for the gas thing. I got to reattach that. It's not attached yet. Got inner fender wells that will fit in there fine. It might have to be modified, obviously, a little bit because it sticks out a lot further. So the plastic's going to go in there, the mesh, ABS, Grille. I don't know why I call it mesh, but Grille. The other thing is, I'm going to paint this. It's way too nice in there. all red. Also, I know on the Porsche Boxster, I hear people online saying they de-snorkel it. So, if I can remember this correctly, the intake on this car, I think, is the one over here. I'm not sure. Yeah, this is the one. The driver's side is the intake. So what they do is they take that. It's really hard to see. It has nothing to do with the Aventador. But I'm going to probably de-snorkel. You take this little catch thing out of there for rain, and then you take this tube out. It's maybe a 1 foot long tube that runs inside the car into the engine, to the intake manifold. And it sounds a lot better when it's sucking in air. I heard a couple people do it. So I think I'm going to do that, make it a little bit noisier. But what's interesting about this, everything's worked out perfect, right? On the real Boxster, it's the same thing. They have a grill right there. So now I'm still going to get good airflow into their side of the engine, or side of the car. Just like I was saying in, I think, another video, I'm going to paint all this probably flat black. You don't want that to sound. I mean, they painted it red. It looks way too good inside there. A couple things I didn't do, like the real one, is they have a big bump here, like a 4x4 height, maybe roughly. Back climbing in and out of this car, hit my knees and all that, climbing in and all that. I didn't want it like that, so I made it low. The other thing is, this seat right now is where I want it, and look how much room. Obviously, my head's gonna be back behind this window, which a lot of, I see tall people sitting in this car, the real one, their heads are back behind this side window. This one is going to be all black and tinted, but you got to be careful driving, right? You can't much peripheral vision to the left when you're sitting like that. But there's a lot of room. Thinking about putting some speakers back there, some subwoofer, I don't know, we'll see. I guess that's Project 98. I'm still working on much lower, other important projects, lower numbered ones. What else? Oh, this is a windshield wiper motor and all that. I don't think I'm going to do no windshield wipers, to be honest. The car's never going to be driven in the rain, and this is going to be like a real fiasco. There's no way to get this thing to work unless I put some long brackets. So this thing would have to be taken out of there and remounted underneath there, but there's no plan for me ever to put a windshield wipers on it. Just with the same with the last car. I had one on it, but the thing never worked right. It was a nightmare to get all the bracketry and all that to design to get that to work. So my plan is, I bought a big roll of 3M carbon fiber. I was going to buy some off-brand, but then I started looking online, and I noticed once bought it before, 2 different times. One was like real vinyl-y. They were all called saying they were vinyl, but it was like almost plastic, so it was really hard if you got creases in it. But the other one I got was vinyl, was really good quality, and I can't remember what that was, but I'm guessing it was 3M, so I went with the better stuff this time. The reason why I got such a huge 5 foot by, I think it was 10 feet, 12 feet, a ridiculous amount. My plan, believe it or not, after I spent all the money on making a beautification of the hood, is to cover this with that carbon fiber. I guess the carbon fiber one I bought, I guess I could pull that out too, but it's not the real shiny one, it's not the flat one, it's kind of like in between. So I don't know, if you guys make comments, what do you think about leave it black or put the carbon fiber? You know, I see a lot of ones that look really good. I guess some people's, when you put it on there, that vinyl carbon fiber, they say it looks too fake, but we'll see. In my last car, I had